The storm didn't just arrive. It attacked. Rain hammered the diner windows like fists. Inside, Rowan Hale sat alone, staring at a plate of eggs he'd sacrificed a week of instant noodles to afford. His 5-year-old daughter, Mira, was waiting at school. Her shoes had holes. Her last meal was a shared cracker. This breakfast was supposed to be his first victory in months. Then the door crashed open. A woman stumbled in, soaked, shaking, her clothes hanging like rags. She didn't order. She didn't sit. She just collapsed against a booth, her lips moving silently. The waitress backed away. Another customer pulled out his phone to record her. Rowan looked at his plate. Then at her. He had 2 choices, eat, or lose everything he'd saved. What he did next no one saw coming. Rowan slid his plate across the sticky table. "Here," he said, voice rough from exhaustion. "You need this more than I do." The woman's head snapped up. Her eyes, wild, bruised-looking, searched his face for cruelty. When she found none, she broke. Tears mixed with raindrops as she grabbed the sandwich and devoured it like a starving animal. Rowan didn't eat. He just watched her. His own stomach growled, but he'd learned long ago that feeding someone else's hope was better than feeding your own fear. Her name, she whispered between bites, was a Raven. No last name. No explanation. Just a small, battered camera clutched to her chest like a heart she'd ripped out herself. "Don't call anyone," she begged. "Please. They'll find me." Rowan didn't ask who they were. He'd seen that look before, on his own face in the mirror after his wife died and the bills started piling up like tombstones. He gave a Raven his jacket. Then his bus fare. Then the last coins in his pocket. "Why?" she asked, trembling. Rowan thought of Mira's words, "Daddy, helping someone is like giving them your sunshine." "Because," he said, "you looked like you forgot you mattered." She stared at him for a long, terrible moment. Then she stood, touched his hand once, cold fingers, fierce grip, and walked out into the dying storm. He never expected to see her again. A letter arrived. Gold embossing. Lawyer's letterhead. Rowan's heart stopped. Lawyers didn't find men like him. Debt collectors did. Landlords did. The system that crushed single fathers did. He opened it with shaking hands. "Mr. Hale, you have been named in a matter of urgent importance regarding Ms. Raven. Please attend our office immediately." He thought she was dead. Or accusing him. Or that he'd somehow broken a law by being kind. That night, he held Mira tighter than usual and prayed to a God he'd stopped believing in. The building swallowed him whole. Marble floors. Silent elevators. Men in suits who smelled like money and didn't meet his eyes. Rowan sat in a leather chair, his worn jeans screaming against the fabric. 2 attorneys entered. They didn't smile. They opened a thick folder. "Ms. Raven is alive," the older one began. "But she is checked into a trauma recovery center. She will be unreachable for months. She is also the sole heir to the Vin family trust. Valued at approximately $12 million. The room tilted. 3 years ago, she was attacked by a business partner who tried to steal her photography portfolio and her freedom. She escaped with nothing but that camera. No phone. No ID. She walked for days. She slept in alleys. And on the worst morning of her life, when she was planning to give up, you gave her breakfast." The younger attorney slid a document across the table. "This is a financial grant. In your name. And your daughter's." Rowan stared at the number. Then he laughed, a broken, disbelieving sound. "I didn't even know her last name. I gave her a sandwich." "A sandwich." "You gave her dignity," the lawyer said quietly. She wrote in her statement, "He didn't save me because he had extra. He saved me because he saw a ghost and decided to be human anyway." The grant covered stable housing. 3 years of living expenses. Childcare. Tuition for the technical drafting program Rowan had once dreamed of. Mira could have new shoes. A bed that wasn't a couch. A future. Rowan didn't cry in front of the attorneys. He waited until he was outside, standing in the rain again, but this time, the water felt like a blessing. Rowan finished his first semester with honors. Mira learned to read. Their new apartment had a window that faced the sunrise. He still visited the diner every Sunday. Sat in the same booth. Ordered the same breakfast. And one gray afternoon, a woman walked in. She was dressed simply. No jewelry. No expensive coat. But her eyes, those bruised, terrified eyes, were now calm. Clear. Alive. A raven sat across from him without asking. "I came back," she said. Rowan pushed his plate toward her. "It's still warm." She laughed. It was the sound of a door opening after a long, dark winter. She didn't stay long. But she left him something, a photograph she'd taken that morning at the diner. Rowan, unaware, looking out the window. The caption on the back read, "The man who taught me that kindness isn't weakness. It's the only thing that survives the storm." Rowan never became rich. He became something better, free. And somewhere in a recovery center, then in a quiet studio, then in a life she rebuilt frame by frame, a raven kept taking pictures. Not of wealth or fame. Of people helping people. Because that's the only story that's never been told enough. If this story moved you, don't just scroll past. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts. We find the quiet heroes. We tell their truth. And together, we remind the world. One meal. One moment. One choice. That's all it takes to save a life.